A very bright and good morning. What are we? Who am I? The first thing that one has to know about themselves, not about anything else, is that I am not consciousness, but I appear here in this body, in this conscious body, in this conscious world, in the whole of consciousness I appear. You see, consciousness is life, and this body appears to be living. So this body has to be 100% consciousness. But what about that I truly am? Within and out with this body, in every aspect, in every molecule, in every atom of the universe that we call life. You see, life itself as consciousness, or consciousness itself as life as every living moment, every living object, every living space, cannot exist. It cannot exist. This body cannot exist. Consciousness cannot exist without an essence of itself. So whatever I am is here to provide an essence of life. The essence of life. The mind, the human, the programmed, conditioned ego, the mental state of knowledge, information, are just attempts to understand what consciousness is. Consciousness is trying, or is here, to experience itself in every aspect. Firstly, you have to understand that humans are not the only living. You see, we know animals, insects, mountains live, trees live, the sky lives, the stars live, the planets live. Just an aspect of consciousness, just an aspect of what the body appears to be as. So many experiences for consciousness regarding itself. So many years in our time-based understanding of space and objects and evolution and ongoingness. But it's like the transistor radio is of no use without the batteries. But the batteries are of no use without what power it has, what power the battery has. So this is the transistor radio. I am part of the transistor radio. The batteries is the brain, the nervous system, the experiencer of its own radio, of its own world. See? But I am none of that permanently. There needs to be an essence of experience. The radio cannot play without the power, without the essence of playing, the essence of energy, the essence of all experiences, all aspects of life. How do you know this, you see? How do you know? Without going out of consciousness, you see. Can one go out of consciousness, you see? Even in death, can the body not experience its dying, rigid self as consciousness? It cannot experience itself as consciousness, but it remains as consciousness, recycling through the historical vast ocean of itself. But none of this can take place without I, without the root of I. You see, we tend to love being the result. We like being, let's look from the body outwards, as if the body is the starting point, you see. The body is the starting point for an experience, for the only experience. Whatever you appear as, a slug. The experience cannot begin until the slug has developed some sort of uniform. But the slug itself is an essence of life. Essence of experiencing itself as life. We think in our human way, we think that there's a God that creates us, you see. But we don't know what us is. You see, we look through and perceive and hear and smell and taste and touch through this organism, this body, and we think this was our beginning point, you see. And it was, in a sense, when the mind says, okay, let's collaborate, body, me and you, mind, begin. But in truth, we don't have a beginning point. We are not initially consciousness. Consciousness cannot experience without I, and I cannot experience without consciousness. So this is the Immaculate Conception that the Bible speaks about. Consciousness and I, you see. But we don't know what I is without consciousness. And we don't know what consciousness is without I. See, it's so simple. Life itself, human life, cannot evolve without male and female. It cannot go anywhere without a sexual act and a birth. Yeah, it just tapers off. Both die as separate. Same as any other living form. Two have to meet to become one. I in consciousness is. I is. You know, for years this body has been portraying some sort of wise thinking mind that says, I know better than you. When you see two people embrace, you see truth. When you see them separate, you see a possibility of truth. You see? And that's in a human way. But the observer of the embrace and the separation, can it be separated? Does it need an embrace with the body, with another body, with the world? It does to know or to understand that it will never know what it is in a human way. But it knows that it is not impermanent. It is not temporary. It is not a time. It is simply a moment. But the moment has no time. The moment has no beginning and no end. I appear as this body, as this conscious being, as this living organism. But the essence of what I am is much more worthy of tasting than the experience. But the experience is the most essential to understanding who I am, what I am. It's a riddle within a riddle. I am one, separate from consciousness. I am appearing as consciousness in a conscious body. So I am one, but I am two at the same time. And then we see the world. And then we interact with the world and we become one with the world. But our mind says there's two. There's me and the world. The whole thing, even God, if you're a religious person, there's God and there's me. And we have to become one. But and even in our human state, which is a very negateful state because we feel our mind has developed and been conditioned and been allowed to be programmed to say you'll never be one with God. So be one with yourself. What can be one with itself? What has to do anything? Where do one has to go? I'm one with the world. I cannot be here without the world. The world cannot be here without me. You see? We're not talking about the earth and when the body dies and all that story, all that stuff. I am one with the one that senses the experience that I observe myself as a body or my mind or as much individual components as I want to, separate and segment. I can see 100 things in this room. So I'm not one with these 100 things. Of course I'm one. The experience is one, you see? Even the experience is one. But you cannot see like this when your mind is jumping around like a monkey. When your mind has been informed. You're not the TV. You see? The mind is talking about the body, not the essence. The essence of the TV exists. I see the essence of the TV. The essence is being here as a TV. I provide the essence of my own body. I provide my own nervous system. I provide my own feelings, my own emotions. I provide my conscious existence. But there's something magical that brings the two together. I, the maple, consciousness, the ribbons, they have to be attached to move, to flow, and to experience, and to just be in love with the experience of being here. You don't have to go through life seeking spirituality or religion. You just have to accept that I truly is. Consciousness truly is. And when they come together, I and consciousness as one truly is. You have to go to the teachers. I don't teach how it's done, how to resolve your own questions. But there's only one important one in your life. In a human aspect, everything is important in your life. But to understand the truth about you, you have to listen carefully, quietly, and with no thoughts to that true essence that you are, initially within, and then you blossom like that lotus flower, and the whole world becomes yours. Namaste.